Hello students, welcome back to Computer Science second PUC online class. Let me continue in the unit B, that is chapter 10, inheritance. We have already gone through the introduction part of inheritance, need for inheritance in C++, defining derived class and the visibility modes, public, private and protected types, in the sessions 23 and 24. Today we are going to discuss about different forms of inheritance, that is single, multi-level, multiple, hierarchical, hybrid inheritances. At the same time, we are going to see the relationship between the classes. So we are going to see what is virtual base class, abstract class, and then the usage of constructor and destructor in derived classes. So I'm just moving to the different forms of inheritance. The derived classes extends its features by inheriting some or all the properties of from its base class, and at the same time it added new features of its own that we have already learnt it. So while inheriting, the derived class can share properties from, it can be only one class, more than one class, or more than one level. I had told you people how to derive a class from the existing one, that is base class. Now there are different ways are there. You can derive class from only one, or you can derive the new class from more than one class. That means derived class can have a many base classes, or you can go with the more than one level, so that you can derive from A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E, like that. So based on this relationship, in C++, the inheritance can be classified into 5 forms. So what I have above said, this relationship keeping in mind, so we have created in C++, they classified into 5 different forms of inheritance. The first one is the single inheritance. The second one, multi-level inheritance. The third one, multiple inheritance. And the fourth one, hierarchical inheritance. And the fifth one, that is a hybrid inheritance. So let me explain you one by one. So let me take the first one, that is a single inheritance. What do you mean by single inheritance? Single inheritance is the process of creating a new class from existing class, that is base class. It is a very common in inheritance that a class is derived from the base class. The data members and member function of the base class are the data member and member function of the derived class. So this is what we have properly seen in session 23 and 24. So how you are deriving, based on that, the data members and the member function of the existing class can be accessed in the derived class. So that's purely depend upon the visibility mode of inheritance, which we have clearly learned in session 24. If your inheritance public mode, I mean to say the visibility mode is public, then the properties of base class inherited in the public way. Similarly, protected means you are inherited in protected way, and if you are going for a private mode means no, then all the properties you can access those protected and public properties. In derived class it becomes private. These all those things we have learnt. Now how this single inheritance is there? Here only one base class will be there and only one derived class will be there. So that is called a single inheritance. That's a reason I told you it is very common in inheritance. In the single inheritance, only one base class is there, one derived class is there. So just to give you the general structure, just look at here. Now this is a base class. Always the class will ends within semicolon, that you have to keep it in mind. So here this is the body of the base class. Now I am going to create a derived class, derived class, and the single colon will be used to just to tell the compiler that I am inheriting which mode. The public visible mode is there. You can make use of any mode, that is depend upon the context or depend upon the program. You can make use of it, and then you have to specify the base class name, and this becomes derived class. So that means here only one base class will be there, one derived class will be there. So this type of inheritance is called single inheritance. Just to make you clear, see here there is base and derived. This is a base and this is derived class. For you to give you real-time example, father and son. The son is derived from father. Son can inherit the sum of the properties of father, and he can add his own new properties. So let me explain you one C++ program that how single inheritance works, or in another way I can tell you, I will demonstrate single inheritance by using C++ program. And my dear students, this concept is there in practical to implement single level inheritance. So just give a more concentration here. As you know, the C++ programs begins with the header files, that is we are using hash include iostream.h, and one more is hash include conio.h. So why these header files will be used, I told you. So I'll create a base class. I've given a name is base itself for this class, and in the private section I have created two member data. One is a roll number and one more is a name of 20 characters it can hold. So that roll number is integer type, name is character type. In the public section, I have created first a member function, that is to read the data from the keyboard and store in the member data. So first I am entering the roll number and the name, here message I am passing, and then by using cin statement, roll number and name I am reading. So this is will be used to just to read. The second member function I have used here to display the contents what is there in the member data, that is cout roll number. So it displays roll number here, what value is there that will be displayed, and name, so that will be displayed name. I have closed this class. This is a class which is I called it as a base class, and I had given class name also base class for just to simplicity. So moving forward, let me create derived class. So what I gave name for this derived class, derive I given name, and I have used single colon, and then I have used visibility mode as a public. Then I have used the name of the base class, that is base itself, and I open the class, and I have created three variables of integer type, m1, m2 and t. Now in the public section I have created member function, that is read1. Why I have created read1? Because read already I have created in the base class. So I cannot go with the same name. Function overloading within the class, it's okay, but it is I am using in the derived class. That's the reason I am given name read1. And in the read1, and then I am calling the read function here. Now this function is belongs to which class? So that is belongs to base class, and that is this one. Void read, enter roll number and name, cin roll number and name. So this function will be called in this function, and after that I have read the values for these member data. Before than that, I displayed message, enter first marks and second marks, and by using console state input statement I have read m1 and m2, and t I used to store the total marks of these two. So m1 plus m2, that total will be saved in the t variable. Similarly, one more function I called, that is display1, and in this function also I called display. This function is belongs to base class, and that function is this: cout roll number displays roll number, cout name and displays name. And after calling base class function, then I am writing the derived classes member data output, that is, this is the way. Cout first marks M1 I am displaying, Cout second marks M2 I am displaying, and then total marks I am displaying, and I have closed the class. This is derived class. So here I have used read and display. These are the properties of base class I have used in derived class. Now in the main function, I have created object of derived class, that is derive OB. The derive is name of the derived class. And then I am calling clear screen. Whatever garbage values or whatever previous anything display data is there in the console output screen, no, I am just clearing. And then what I am doing, OB dot read one object dot the function I am calling of derived class here. Now when this function calls, immediately this will be executed. Correct? So first what it does, it calls the base function. Then the derive its own the data will be executed. Similarly, I am using display function. And in the display also same way, first it will be calls the base class function, and then its own data will be displayed. Now the output will be displayed in this is the way. As you know, first read function called. So enter roll number, name. This is the base class. So I have entered 1, 2, 3, 4. Ramnath I entered. And then it continued, enter first marks and second marks. This is a derived class. The data is there. So 99, 100 I entered. Now next what happened, display function will call. So first it displays the member function will be executed of base class, that is roll number and name will be displayed. Then the properties of this derived class will be executed, that is first marks and the second marks will be displayed and the total marks. This is the way your single inheritance works. This is the way it executes. Is not simple, dear students? Is it any difficulties there? No. See here, because of that base class, we saved lots of code. Otherwise, we are supposed to write everything in the derived class. The enter roll number, enter name. Similarly, in the display part also, we have to write that. That will be, the repetition was there. Now here we did not repeat, we reused it. So this is a benefit, my dear students. If you make use of inheritance, you can reuse the code what is already how you wrote it. This is what a simple demonstration how to implement single inheritance in C++. I don't think so it will be difficult for you people to write so simple program. I have taken student itself as example. So just reviewing in the base class what you have to do. I have just created two variables, int roll number, character name, and I have created two member function, read and display. I have read the data roll number and the name and display that roll number and name in the base class. This is what I have done in the base class. In the derived class, what I did, I have added additional three properties, that is marks 1 and 2, and then I have taken up total marks, and that also I have displayed. But what I did, whose marks I'm displaying? I want that student name and roll number. So what I did in the red part, I just made use of the function what is used in the other class by inheriting, and I made that existing class as a base class or a super class for this class. So that I can make use of whatever functions are there in the public area or in the protected area, I can make use of it here. Okay, students. Now moving to the next form. The next form is multi-level inheritance. Now, as the name says here, the level many are there. More than one level is there. Okay. So, just giving you a definition, keeping in front of you. Derivation of class from another derived class is called multi-level inheritance. So, you are deriving the class from already derived class. So, that means base will be there. From that derived becomes, from there another derivation comes, from there another derivation comes, like this you can do it. So, this is called multi-level. The levels will be increases. Now, see here. In the figure, class A, the base class is there for class AB, and class AB is a base class for class ABC. Just giving an idea. Now that is, and this is the way it is there. So I've created general structure here. Now look at here. This is, I've created class A. And this is, I've created class AB by inheriting class A. And this is class ABC, and I've inherited class AB. So pictorial representation, this is the way. So now what becomes? Class A, class AB, class ABC. I have wrote here ABC. So that means this becomes a base class. This is here. And this becomes intermediate class. And this becomes derived class. And this is multi-level. In another way, I can say this is A is, I can call it as a grandfather, then father, then son or child or grandchild. Got it? So in reality, we can tell like class C indirectly accessing the properties of class A. Class C indirectly accessing the properties of class A through class B. Through class B, provided the visibility mode should be public or protected, then only it is possible, otherwise it is not possible. So that is what the visibility mode says. Got it? So this is a basic idea. This is a basic idea. So as I said with the paper, now class A is called as a base class. Class AB or here B, what I showed in the figure, that is called as an intermediate class. And class C is called derived class. Now this is called first level inheritance, and this is called second level inheritance. You can go one more. If you are deriving class from C, then that becomes third level inheritance. Going forward, Let me keep it in front of you. What is multiple inheritance? A class can be derived from more than one base class is known as a multiple inheritance. I am repeating. A class can be derived from more than one base class is known as a multiple inheritance. So I'll just keep it in front of you, general structure. So before explaining general structure, let me keep it in front of you, the figure. Now see here, this is class A and this is class B. These are totally two independent classes. And class C is derived from class A as well as class B. Here, the class C is called derived class. Class A and class B are called base class for class C. How you will implement in C++ program? Look at here. Now this is, as I said, class A is independent class. Class A and then class body. Similarly, class B and then class body. Independent two classes created. Okay. And at the same time, I have used here one more, class C and independent body. Now class ABC I have created. The class ABC is derived from class A, class B and class C. So here more than one classes will be involved. So how you will specify? See, this is colon will be specified you are inheriting, and public A, that's the visibility mode of the class A, comma public B, comma public C. So what you are doing here, by putting commas, you can add how many classes you want. So that will be treated the multiple classes, and that all those multiple classes will be treated as a base class for this derived class. Now for class ABC, base class, there are three are there in the general structure, and that is A, B and C. Now all these classes are derived in a public visibility mode. You can change. It is not necessary same visibility mode should be there. You can change any visibility mode. One can have a public, another can have a private, and another can have a protected also. There won't be any problem. But this is, I'm just giving in a general structure. This is the way the multiple inheritance works. Dear students, I have demonstrated single inheritance by giving you C++ program, but I did not tell you multi-level inheritance nor even multiple inheritance also. The reason, it becomes complex, and we are going to learn in our syllabus only the single level inheritance demonstration. The other demonstration it is not required, but theoretically how we are going to implement in C++, that is what we are going to learn it. And that is what I had kept it in front of you, that how single level inheritance works and how multi-level inheritance works and how multiple inheritance works. Now to differentiate multi-level and multiple, It's very simple. In multi-level inheritance, we are deriving the derived class from base class, and from the derived class we are deriving one more derived class. So the level we are increasing. In the multiple inheritance, the number of base classes increases. The number of base classes increases rather than level increasing. So this difference you should keep it in your mind. So students, dear students, let me conclude here. So we have discussed in the different forms of inheritance, that is a single level of inheritance with the C++ program, and multi-level inheritance, multiple inheritance. So in others, what I've specified above, these all those things we discussed in the session 23, 24 and today's session 25. And the left out, that is hierarchical inheritance, hybrid inheritance and the relationship between classes, I'll discuss in the next session, that is coming session. So thank you very much students for listening this session. May God bless you. Have a great day.